So as I'm still at 216 subs, well, thanks for that, Bella. I thought I would do more vids that would certainly fit into at least one of my playlists. Useful, yeah. After all, I've got my YouTube channel is That Guy Scott Webb at the useful channel. But even this vid I'm doing could go into also the eugenics playlist and certainly Agenda 21 at the very least. So bear with me. This, and I have covered in the past, whether it be on YouTube, on various previous channels, or other platforms like Odyssey and BitChute, which still gives me notifications, but I can't even look at my own vids. But anyway, and, well, you know. So this one, people are only just realising fish and chip shop vinegar isn't actually vinegar. Well, that's true. Most people don't realise that being the case. And to be honest, there's been times, even of late, that I've been kind of sloppy on that. Because you see, what I always look for in a chippy is that they fry in beef dripping. That is a must, yeah? You'd be horrified at the amount of chippies that fry in seed oils. And most people don't seem to care. But you look at the size of most people who don't seem to care. And straight away I'd be saying to, if you've got a chip shop and you are frying in beef dripping, make sure your customer knows that. Put it somewhere prominent. Yeah? It may put off some. But be assured it will garner you more business. There'll be lots of people who will go that extra mile to come to you because you're frying in beef dripping. So that's number one. I'd also say, while we're at it, stop with the plastics. You know, even when you see most chippies, they you know, when they're handling the food, they grab some clear piece of plastic, which you can guarantee is BPA something. Now, some might say, oh no, we use one, even if they get that far, by the way, if they even care. But just say the business, you know, those that supply, are clear plastic sheets are BPA free. Then, well, that may be the case, although I highly doubt it, but it will be BPA something, or BPS. Yeah. There is always toxicity to plastics and leaching. Be assured of that, yeah? And most people are so apathetic to it. And remember, the thing about these plastics is they react stronger, or the leaching becomes stronger, either at colder temperatures or hotter temperatures, the leaching, yeah? There's the detail that most people don't realise. The occultists, the clued up ones do. But that's not every occultist. But, you know, even when I was, back the day when I was visiting a lot of clients, you know, basically fixing their PCs, really. The conversations, especially with, you know, either private consultancy or NHS doctors, would also happen to be, you know, members of certain organisations, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, no names mentioned, never will, but the sharing of data, things I would not do, Scott. After all, you seem to be awake enough to, you know. But, yeah, plastics, straight away. I've dropped a hint to some good chippies that, hey, go that extra mile, get rid of the plastic, you know, start looking at cardboard, you know, other options rather than plastic. Even when it comes to forks, get wooden forks. Others won't care, but it's those that are clued up that will come that extra mile to go to see you rather than somebody else. They don't want to have to go. I mean, I'm still doing it. The occasional time that I treat myself to a fish supper, even if it's all done in beef dripping, blah, 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 but they've still got these bloody plastics. And so what I have to do, I have to say, actually, I'm allergic to plastic, you know. And they're like, all right, okay, no problem. And then Because that is so much easier to say than I don't want any BPAs or BPSs on my bloody food. Yeah. I've just found that to be the easiest solution. I've even said, hey, look, if you want to move my fish, I can move the fish. If, you know. And they've been very accommodating, so you go at the same places. Things like that, it's part of the detail. Absolutely. And here we are, 5 minutes, 25 seconds plus into this. But there's this, you've got your real vinegar, yeah, which is brewed, yeah, and you've got your non-brewed, which is, well, essentially chemically made and colourings added and salt, but it'll be table salt, so it's highly toxic. It's the detail that most people miss, yeah, and they contribute on the long term to your earlier demise, yeah. So I had to stop for a second there as I got a call. So where was I? Yeah, so I avoid these days chip shop vinegar, especially when most of it isn't actually vinegar. So I take along with me, if I'm planning all this, a bit of apple cider vinegar. And I find that very beneficial. It's something that I would recommend in most people's lives, although some people, I even tried it myself, you know, putting it in some water. Apparently there were some benefits from it, but for me, the pros and cons, personally, I felt, yeah, just put it on your chips, and which I have a lot. But most of the chips I eat are basically cooked at home in beef dripping. And even that is an art in itself. And if you want me to do a vid on, you know, ideally how to cook chips well with beef dripping, I can do, you know. Answers on a postcard. But anyway, yeah, I do that. And so I then put apple cider vinegar on top of those chips, and then I put Himalayan salt and some butter, liberally put about. It's bloody lovely. Oh yeah. Obviously with whatever else I'm cooking it with, you know, whatever I'm having, some meat, steak, whatever, eggs. I'm a great fan of eggs, by the way. I have usually at least somewhere 4 or 5 a day, sometimes 12. And yeah, very beneficial. So, in summary, if you're really clued up or perceive yourself as, and you care about your own health, bring your own condiments. Seriously. And if some, oh look, so Scott, I'm so busy in my day to day. Well, just leave some in the car. You know what I mean? Yeah. Makes sense. Anyway, your thoughts, your shares, and your subscriptions. And I'll speak to you soon.